These are clips from the movie I made using AI tools, and I want to show you how to do the same. Technology is incredible. Movie making has always been an artistic pursuit of writing the script, creating the right mood, coming up with the shot sequence and whatnot. It's a labor of passion and time. But believe it or not, I was able to make a movie in a few minutes, definitely less than an hour. And well, I might be biased, but the movie is kind of awesome. Today, I'm going to show you my tips and tricks. Before we jump into the step-by-step guide of the movie making process, I will give you some context behind this new emerging art form. Chapter 1. What inspired me to make this video? So a small disclaimer, just for the sake of maintaining authenticity and giving you an actual broad step-by-step guide, I will keep this video a lesson 101. This is to say that I will show you each aspect of the movie making process from scratch. Now, of course, we aren't talking about making a 3-hour-long Star Wars type art form, but we will get there, hopefully. In this video, we're essentially talking about short films, short docu-series, or even short-form documentaries. We've already seen how GPT-4 has been used to write some pretty decent scripts for popular TV shows, etc. But in this video, we will see how we can harness the power of several AI tools to create a movie within itself. My inspiration comes from watching The Frost, a 12-minute short film that was made entirely by AI tools. At first glance, I don't think you'll be able to see that the unsettling scenes in the icy mountains were generated by DALL-E. But every shot of the movie, including the detail-oriented drop of the scenes, is courtesy of DALL-E 2. Every still of the character, the setting, and small details like the gushes of fire were produced by the same AI software. Yet, I have to tell you this, The Frost is a bit different from what I will teach you here because its script wasn't generated by AI. The screenplay was originally written by Josh Rubin, who's also the director of the film. Other than DALL-E 2, Waymark used DID, another AI software, to add movement to his still images. Any moving effects like characters talking or the blow of the wind were achieved by the same AI tool. Now, The Frost is a product of Waymark, an AI company that generates bespoke video ads for brands. So, of course, its production was a bit hefty, and all the glitz and glamour of movie making was involved. I'm going to make this process simpler for you guys. Chapter 2. The script. First things first, you need a script for your movie. Now, this step can go in multiple directions. Perhaps you already have a script ready. In that case, make sure your file is already saved and ready to use on your computer. But of course, writing a script is a daunting task. So, one way to speed up this process is to use GPT-4 to come up with your script. At this stage, I recommend using a specific prompt for your film, but don't ask for a shot list at this point. Let's say the prompt you can use goes something like this. Generate a script about two half-brothers who are trying to find their way home through a mysterious and mystical forest. Make the script 2 minutes long. Now, I know the prompt is essentially a loose copy of Over the Garden Wall, but trust me, you'd be impressed by GPT-4's creativity. It'll already give you a preliminary shot list, yet that is going to be a bit loose on the details. Now you can ask GPT-4 to give you a detailed description of each shot, including all the relevant deets on the characters, settings, and objects. If you're looking to create a documentary with no dialogue, you can follow the same steps, of course. Just ask GPT-4 to keep the script narration based without any lines. Don't worry, I will tell you how to deal with both types of scripts as the movie progresses. But keep this in mind, since we aren't quintessential movie makers, our grip on the direction of the movie is going to be a bit shaky. That's alright though. You'll still be able to achieve the visual language for your movies. Chapter 3. Voiceovers. Alright, so if your movie has dialogue, you know what to do next. You can easily use 11 Labs to generate voiceovers for your characters. 11 Labs is very cost-effective, and even its free plan gives you access to thousands of free, high-quality community voices. Its creative plan will give you access to 80+ voice styles. So, no matter how diverse your movie is, you'll be able to pick an avatar for your character. Generally, I have found 11 Labs pretty handy to use, and since our movie prompt is about two young boys, this AI tool will take care of the nitty-gritty details as well. Alternatively, you can use Murph AI because it gives you a bunch of free credits to get by. Especially if you're using the narration style for your documentary or movie, it allows you to create a unique voice for your project. You just have to click on Add Voice and then play around with the voice design feature. On to the speech synthesis part now. That bit is pretty easy if you have some experience with AI-generated voiceovers. You just have to copy-paste your narration and work around the voice settings. Go to History, find the file with the settings that work for you, and download the MP3 file. You can do the same with your individual dialogues as well. Just save them as individual files for each character. Chapter 4. Shot Sequencing. Now you're looking to generate shots for your movie. And I think this is my favorite part of the movie making process because you can tweak the text prompts to achieve the closest visual or aesthetic you have in your mind. For this step, your best shot, pun intended, is Runway. There are many reasons why I like Runway. Its video making tool is pretty solid, but in our case, it gives you a lot of room to adjust the shot description that GPT-4 has generated for you. And nope, it is not in the closed beta phase as of now. By feeding Gen 2 your shot's description, you can play around with Runway, make any required edits to the text prompt and whatnot. It's as easy as copying and pasting. Now, if you're making a movie or documentary or anything else, you'll run into the time gap problem. GPT-4 might have written an 11-second shot for you, but Runway will give you a 5-second video or something to that effect. There are multiple ways to mitigate this problem. You just have to work around your options to choose what works best for you or what your skill set is. If video editing is your game, you can prolong the shots by using the slow-mo effect or adding any other motion effects. There's a lot that you can do here, but more conveniently, you can use Runway itself to help you with this problem. I recommend breaking up your prompt into smaller bits. That way you're not only simplifying the shot for Runway, but you're also giving it more room to work around the details. Of course, you can add or subtract certain details from the prompt, but you'll be left with multiple sequential videos for the same shot that you can later on combine. Remember, feeding details to Runway always works, but this is not to say that you won't run into some dead ends with Runway. When you're trying to get the best possible visual results, I'd say keep Midjourney open in the other tab too. For panning shots and still images, Midjourney will be my ultimate solution. Not to mention, if your movie has characters that are going to correspond to the dialogues that we generated earlier, Midjourney will come in super handy. For a movie as sophisticated as The Frost, this AI tool was able to generate larger-than-life characters. GPT-4 has already given you a pretty solid character description, and now you can use it to your advantage. No matter which tool you use to create shots, you have to be mindful of the organization of your video and images. I recommend saving them all in one folder, in the order of their appearance in the movie. So your list in the folder should correspond to the shot list created by GPT-4. Trust me, it is a pro tip. Once you get to the animating part of the movie making process, you'll know exactly what to do with your stills. Chapter 5. Animation. Alright, here's the thing. If you're a pro at DID, you have got this step covered. Perhaps you aren't into using multiple AI tools and you've already spent crisp dollars to get those DID premium features. Then you can simply use the tool to make your characters move, speak, dance, eat dinner, save the world. You get the idea. If your movie has dialogue, you can use the tool to incorporate your characters and their lines. This is a lengthy process, and depending on the length of your lines, you'll have to save each dialogue separately. But hey, no pain, no gain, right? This is why I was emphasizing the organization part of the process, because small video clips with wild file names are going to get lost on your computer. Now that we've gotten that covered, let's move on. This video is also supposed to broaden your horizons, so I'm going to recommend 2 other tools to add animation and special effects to your still images. You might want to use LeiaPix and Kyber. These tools aren't very different in their scope and usage, but they offer some variation in options. Kyber is a total gift when it comes to adding cool, cinematic sort of value to your still images. The color and aesthetic variation it uses are pretty awesome. If you're working on more aesthetically demanding tropes like dystopia or something futuristic, Kyber has a lot of options for you. Again, as with any AI tool, I recommend playing around with it. Depending on the description of your shot, you can do a lot with these tools. Use 3D variation to your images using LeiaPix pretty easily. The user interface is easy to use and it won't give you any trouble. Of course, you can use tools like Kyber to do some fantastic prompt engineering as well. Honestly, the world is your oyster. You can use the text prompt part of the tool to make your images do whatever fits the shot sequence of your movie. Make sure that you're mindful of the speed of the animation. Needless to say, you can deviate away from the length of the shot generated by GPT-4, but you might have already generated some shots using tools like Runway or Mindscope, so everything has to fit the sequence at the end of the day. Just like before, remember to save your files as MP4 and add them to the folder you're working with. Chapter 6, Final Touches and Video Compilation. At this stage, you're almost done with every moving part of your movie. Now, you can add some final touches. A really good movie needs a really good background score. For this, feel free to use Muber.com as it allows you to set the mood, genre, and activity before producing a score for you. Okay, it's not Hans Zimmer awesome, but you have to make do with the scraps you get. And if your movie requires some time-lapse scene, or you're doing something like fast forward to the future thing, you can use Genmo to create those particular scenes. As usual, like everything I recommend on this channel, it is easy to use and I find it very handy. Once you're done with all of those furnishes, it is time to edit your moving parts into a fully functional, Oscar-worthy movie. There are multiple ways to do that. If there's a filmmaker in you who has taken you to the deepest pits of Adobe, you know your gig already. But for those who are amateur at this, don't worry, I've got you covered. Perhaps one of the easiest video editing tools that you can use is DaVinci Resolve 18. You'll have to surf a bit to find the free version, but once you get your hands on it, you're practically set. Export your entire movie folder to the software first. You have to follow the quintessential method. Just drop everything on the timeline and adjust accordingly. The best way to get things started is to drop your narration or dialogues followed by the background score. Set the variation of the music in negative to get your narration going. And then, of course, keep your shot list from GPT-4 handy. It'll help you keep everything streamlined. The next step is simple enough. You keep playing with those AI tools and who knows, one day the Oscars might recognize your talent. Your inner Peter Jackson must be buzzing with all the movies you're going to make using AI tools, and I'd love to keep helping you along the way. If you're interested in growing your channel using AI tools and dominating YouTube, use my link in the description to try an absolutely free YouTube course that can grow your channel from $0 to $10,000 in profit on YouTube without showing your face or using your own voice. Making movies with AI is an incredible experience, but if using AI tools is your thing, then you'll absolutely need to watch this video to learn how to make the most money with AI tools the easiest way I know.